सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं कर्वावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
Namaste to all. We are in the midst of auspicious celebrations of Navaratri. In addition to that, another auspicious event is taking place at Indianapolis. Having a concept of doing a Jnana Yajna through arrangements of having Arsha Vidya Mahotsava. Arsha Vidya Mahotsava means it is a festival and a great festival celebrating the knowledge that has been handed over through the parampara of the rishis. And that's the knowledge. And the person behind is Karthik Patelji, and he has been working very hard, and he has conducted these sessions in the past in Michigan area, and he has been doing this one for last 1 year every 6 months, and this is the first time we are able to conduct this type of seminar or lecture series. There are going to be a week-long session for each subject, and he has chosen 4 subjects, 1 week long each. The first one is the Prarthana Shatapadi, usually called as a Vishnu Shatapadi. The second one is going to be Atma Shatakam, and the third one is going to be the Maya Panchakam, and fourth one is going to be Sadhana Chatustaya. So today's subject is the Prarthana Shatapadi. Prarthana means prayer, and Shatapadi is a 6 foot or 6 padas, foot verses, and which we'll be talking about that today. But we would like to have some kind of basic understanding about why this Vishnu Shatapadi has come into existence, for what purpose, and why we are here to analyze or discuss among ourselves. I am here as a student, and you are there as a student. I am here as not as a guru or a teacher or a preacher. I am here to learn from each other, and I am right now as a talker or speaker, and you are a listener, and the roles could be changed. Now, when we say the prayer, why do we need prayer? Prarthana. Why do we need prayer? Particularly when we have so many texts are available, and particularly through now internet information highways, we have so many things available, and you know that tons of the books and even for the spiritual area are available, and people are confused with so much of information coming in all the ways, and what is the right knowledge. And that's why the ancient wise seers, they have put together some of a orderly fashion. So there is a religion, there is not a religion, it's a way of living, is called Sanatana Dharma. That Sanatana Dharma, which is a eternal religion, duty or consciousness, whatever you call it, it is not meant for one religion, one sect. It is universal, and it is for the universal understanding, and it is for the art of living and achieving the goal of your life. In that Sanatana Dharma, they have a standard text available. They call in the name of Srutis and the Smrutis. Srutis are the one which have been heard, and they have been heard over the many millennia. And these Shruti textbooks are called Vedas. And the Vedas are there. Those Vedas are 4. And along with that 4 Vedas, you can call first Veda is a Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda. From those Vedas, then came the second line of Shruti text. Those are called Upanishads. And these are called Upanishads because it is by a Karna Parampara or by oral tradition, and it was not a written language, and it was not made by the human beings. And these rishis, in their intuitive state, they have heard this knowledge just like we hear or see a TV or a radio, and they could hear the knowledge that is pervading throughout the infinity space. So the Upanishads are many, and all this intuitive knowledge has taken place through the Upanishads. There are many. There used to be 1180, then standardly authoritative texts are 108. And then in that 108, Shankaracharya, the wisest person, the seer, and he was a great Advaitin that who says that there is not one God, 2 gods, there is only God. That everything is God. And that is the person rejuvenated, and there is a renaissance took place during his presence back in the 7th and 8th century. And he has commented on all this, the Upanishads, and subsequently, as the people who are not understanding this text, which were, first of all, it was in the language, the Sanskrit language. Number 2, it was limited to only few people. And then at the time, and going back to before Shankaracharya, the first documented scriptures, other than the Karna Parampara or the oral tradition, was by Vedavasa about 5,000 years ago. And he has commented on these Upanishads. He has divided the Vedas into the 4 definitive forms, and each Veda has its own Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda. And then later on, he has also commented because there is the apparent division or differences between the Upanishads, the knowledge given on. So with all this knowledge pouring in, that he felt in his heart that we need to do it in different way, different form, in order to hand over to the common man. So then he got into this itihasas. Itihasas means it was told thus, like that. Those are called Ramayanam, Mahabharatam. Even then, he was not satisfied. The Vedavasa, which was 5,000 years ago. And at the time, he has an intuitive the mind that I need to do something. So he has given Puranas. Purana means ever new. It's not ancient, it's an ever new. All the knowledge that is given, it's always new to that time and place. So with all these books, tons of books, textbooks, and all these seers telling in apparent differences, and then there is a question of, is it one God, 2 gods, why they are talking about multiple gods, and later on so many things have been coming into the existence. It was like, for a common man is looking, a blind man looking for a black cat during the night time in a dark room. And that is the hardest one to understand. So during that time, the common sense is, if so much of it, information is available through our internet and Google Mata, and why do we have to come here and attend the Shankaracharya teachings or the Vedavasa teachings? or so-called these ashrams and saints, why we need to come over there? Or in common sense, in common place is why do we have to go to the temple? Or why do I have to go to listen to somebody else? It is just like this, that anything to take place you need a kind of vehicle. So in order to post a letter, a love letter to your loved one, you cannot just, throw it everywhere. You have to write it, put it a stamp and put it in a post box, and a mailman has to deliver that one. Likewise, water is everywhere. That water is found everywhere, on earth and the sky and everywhere. But if you want to drink water, there should be a place where you can. And that place could be a well, or could be a tap, or a bottle of water, but there is a vehicle that carries that. So likewise, these texts and these prarthanas, these kind of knowledge that is taking place, we need a guru or a person who is well versed with that one authentically. And one such guru is the Veda. It's an authoritative one, and there is no dispute that one. It can prove that. How do we know this is authoritative? Because with the available pramanas, means to know, or the gauge or the meters, how do we understand this knowledge? You can see by your five senses, particularly the eyes. That's called pratyaksha pramana. And the second one is called paroksha, indirectly. Whatever you see, touch it, you know it. But if you can't see it with your own eyes, by inference, by anumana, that is the paroksha. And the pratyaksha there, paroksha there. But the Shruti literature, which I told you is the Vedas and Upanishads, or actually is authentic, there is authoritative, just because they were not made by the human beings. It is an apaurushaya. It was heard by a rishis during the intuitive status. Now, with all these things available for us, we need a streamline and a place where we can channelize this education on that. Now, then we'll ask, why do we need this knowledge? So much of knowledge is there, why do we need the knowledge? Knowledge is needed is because anything that you want to do or live, and every step, without the knowledge you cannot function. Now, to find out that knowledge, why do you want to do the knowledge? Why do you want to get the knowledge? And basically, our human beings wants to have happiness. Right from the birth, he is looking for a happiness. That happiness is within us. We forget that because we are the Satchitananda. But let's see, put that one Satchitananda at one point, but we are looking outward. We look into many ways. We try to get the good relations, loved ones, and we want to acquire the things, and we want to build the things, and collect so many things, and try to do everything possible going outward. But that happiness is dependent upon 5 factors. Those 5 factors are that happiness can be disturbed, or number 1 is if we are feeling a disease or death in the family, that is the first thing. And the second thing is the financial problems, that we have anytime financial problem, that happiness could be disturbed on that one. Third one is disturbance in relations, either within your family, friends and relatives or community. If there is no, proper relations, that also takes away your happiness. And the fourth one is to do or not to do, a great dilemma. In a time when you want to do the decision, at that time there are many factors are there, so sometimes you are in dilemma, to do or not to do. Just like in a Bhagavad Gita, that the Arjuna has a dilemma, what is the right thing, whether to do or not to do type of thing. And the fifth one, the biggest one, is the one ego, ahankara. That ego, it's me, it's I. This I am doing everything, So he's identified that with himself, that everything he created, everything he is getting it. That ego, with that ego, he will be doing the things which are not proper in perspective. Now, that's where you need to say that these 5 factors, when they are acting at every step, we need to find out what is causing these disturbances. Because our life is nothing but 3 factors. Is the interplay between the 3 factors. That is you, which is the person, I, feeling. That's the jiva, that is the creature, that is individual creature. And the second one is the jagat, which is not you. Other than you, everything is the jagat, the world that's about you. And the third one is Jagadishvara, is the Ishvara. So this is only interplay on that one. And the interplay between the jiva, the individual, and the jagat, and also the Jagadishvara. Now, another 3 factors also work to disturb this happiness, or to be happiness, you need to look into these 3 factors also. For example, I was driving from the Terre Haute, where I live, coming to the Indianapolis in a car. I have known all the knowledge. I got a license, and they have given the license because I have the knowledge about the road rules and traffic lights, where to go and how to stop, where to stop, and how to merge. All those things I have perfect knowledge, and also I'm not taking any drink, and everything is good. Then I'm following all the things. I'm coming on that one, but it could happen one thing. So during that time, some factors within you could have, some kind of disturbance, within your thought process, or, absent-minded. Sometimes you can do that. It can happen, but rarely it happens on that one. So that is one factor. That factor is called, in Sanskrit term, is called Adhyatmik. The second one is called the people going around you. People who are behind you, ahead, or opposite traffic. That guy may be a drunk, and he could come and hit head to head, or a lot of things can happen, So with the behavior of surroundings, or things or the people can also affect the journey. So now, third one, I am okay, I am perfect, and the opposite guy is okay, but a third force is called Adidhaivik. Not in your control, not my control. And those 3 factors, that's who called Adidhaivik is, who is that the Adidhaivik? Unknown force. Whichever is making this world go on, whichever thing that is making you talk, and whichever thing that's making you listen, whichever is the thing that is making your heart beat and your lungs breathe, all these things is Adidhaivik. We don't know what is that one. That force is also one of the important things. So in this, that is Adidhaivik. So Adhyatmik, Adibhautik, and Adidhaivik. These 3 factors, when you take into consideration, with the interaction of this individual with the Jagat, and with the help, with the grace of that Jagadishvara, it is a play. It's a Bhagavan Leela, it's a sport. It happens in everybody's life on that one. Now, in order to get that play properly, in order to be getting the happiness, we need to understand how to play this play and how do we do that. So one of the things is that the important thing is the unknown force, which is called Adidhaivik. That Adidhaivik force is the most important one, and we need to get that grace, that unknown one, the grace. And the grace is called, that grace comes only through the Prarthana or the prayer or your Sharanagati to that one. You need to understand that it is not you, and that is, all the important factor, it is the grace of the God. For that one, our saints and sages, they have given all this text and knowledge, and particularly a short one. like our Prarthana today, which we will go into that detail and introducing that, is called this Vishnu Shatapadi. Now, most of the time, these prayers and meditations, and there is sometimes a doubt, what is prayer, what is meditation? Prayer is when you see the other. As I told you in the beginning, there is only one. That's everything is one. All these things we talked about, these three interaction is only play. That one, when you see it as an other, then you are connecting between you and him, or is, her, or it, whatever that is, the force is called, a connection is called prayer. You are asking that one to give whatever you want and whatever you want to achieve on that one. Whereas the meditation is that connecting to yourself or making appointment with yourself. So that is the meditation. But this particular aspect, they have looked into that, and many rishis, they have explained very detailed, and they have given many texts, particularly Shankaracharya has given many such things. So he has commented 5,000 years ago, Vedavasa. Then in the 8th century, Shankaracharya has given a commentary on those things, explaining what exactly this knowledge is hidden in the scriptures. So in that particular thing, this Shankaracharya has given a Bhashya's commentary, and second one is Prakarana Granthas. Prakarana Granthas means his own books that is man-made, that he can give his own opinion based upon the knowledge. Then also, in order to connect with the common people, he has given the hymns, which is the prayers. The prayers are the one which help them to see through the image or see the example. So that prayers are called Shatapadi. Shatapadi is a poem, and it is written in a rhythm. And why it is called Vishnu Shatapadi? Vishnu is that one force or God, pervading, all pervading, right? Now, that Vishnu had Shatapadi means 6 verses. And these 6 verses also has a connotation with a honeybee or Brahmara. And a Brahmara has 6 legs. What does it do? Usually Brahmara, it is going to go round, having the sound, Brahmaric sound. That sound goes round the flower. What is trying to do? Take a makaranda, or the sweetness, or whatever the pregnancy, whatever that is doing it is going round on that one with the 6 legs. That's another connotation on that. But most importantly, from the Advaitic point of view, these 6 also means something else. Those are called 5 elements, Panchabhuta, with the 6th one is the mind. The 5 elements, which you know that from space, air, fire, water, and earth. These are the 5 elements. Then the 6th one is the mind. We are all made with the 5 elements. And the 6th one is the one which operates. And then, unfortunately, the 6th one is called Maya also, the mind. So mind is the one which controls that universal consciousness, that God concept, which is called self. So that particular thing that Shankaracharya has put very beautifully and elegantly through this poem, which we call Vishnu Shatapadi. And then what I'm going to do, it is a rhythm and a rhyme. And it will give you the entire Vedic knowledge through this one. So I'm going to read that one, and next time onwards, and I think we'll get a copies of this and we can all go
Everyone
through that.
has it.
Everybody? Okay.
On page 22.
Okay.
So those who cannot read Devanagari, there's a English translation.
Yeah, whatever transliteration you have that. Okay. It has 6 verses, and you have to notice that 6 verses, each line has 6 padas. Each line. And particularly it is so obvious in the last one. And the last one is the 7th verse is the Palasruti. Or Palasruti means after you chant this 6th one, what is the benefit you get it? and that is a benefit or your goal. And so that's the seventh verse. But actually this is Shatapadi means only 6 verses. So let me go through that one, the rhythm, and you either you can follow through or listen, or you can chant with me on that.
So you chant one pada and we'll repeat, then you second.
Okay. Avinayam apanaya Vishnu,
Avinayam apanaya Vishnu,
Damaya manashamaya,
Damaya manashamaya,
Vishaya mrugatrusnam,
Vishaya mrugatrishnam,
Bhutadayam vistaraya,
Bhutadayam vistaraya,
Taraya samsara sagarataha,
Taraya samsara sagarataha,
Divya duni makarande,
Divya duni makarande,
Parimali paribhoga,
Parimali pariboga,
Sachidanande,
Sachidanande,
Sripati padara vinde,
Sripati padara vinde,
Bhavabhaya,
Bhavabhaya,
Kedachide vande,
Kedachide vande,
Satya vibheda pagame,
Satyaviveda pagame
Nada tavaham,
Nagatavaham,
Namama kinastum,
Namama kinastvam,
Samudrohi tarangaha,
samudrohi tarangaha
Vachana samudro,
Vachina samudro,
Natarangaha,
Natarangaha,
Udruta naganaga bidanuja,
Udruta naganaga vidanuja,
Udruta naganaga bidanuja,
Udruta naganaga vidanuja,
Danuja kulamitra,
Danuja kulamitra,
Mitra shashi druste,
Mitra sadidruste,
Druste bhavati prabhavati,
Druste bhavati prabhavati,
Na bhavati,
Nabhavati,
Kim bhavati raskaraha,
Kim bhavati raskaraha,
Machadi biravatarai,
Masyadi viravatai,
Avatara vatavata,
Avatara vatavata,
Sadavasudam,
Sada vasudam,
Parameshwara paripalyo,
Parameshwara paripalyo,
Bhavata bhavata
bhavata bhavata
bitoham,
bitoham
Damodara guna mandira,
damodara guna mandira
Sundara vadanara vinda,
Sundara Vadanaravinda,
the Govinda,
Govinda,
Bhava jalida,
Bhava
Bhava jalati,
Bhava Jaladi,
Madana mandara,
Madana Mandara,
Paramam,
Paramam,
Dharamamapanaya,
Dharma Papanaya,
Tvam me,
Tvam me,
Narayana karunamaya,
Narayana Karunamaya,
Sharanam karavani,
Sharanam Karavani,
Tavakau charanau,
Tavakau Charanau,
Iti Shatapadi madhiye,
Iti Shatapadi Maliye,
Vadana saroje,
Vadana Saroje,
Sada vasatu,
Sada Vasatu,
Vadana saroje,
Vadana Saroje,
Sada vasatu.
Sada Vasatu.
So this beautiful 6 verses poem or hymn or whatever you call it, it's a prayer, has explained a deeper meaning into that. Very first sloka, first verse, says about that Brahman, Lord Vishnu, all pervading. That is the one, only one, everything responsible for these 3 factors, 3 entities I talked about. Everything is same. And the second one is when you see it as other, as a duality. If you imagine Mahavishnu sitting on the Pal Samudra or Kshirasagara, at his feet, who is sitting? Lakshmi. The wealth or the materialistic one, a duality, the Maya. That is the one in the second verse. It is beautifully explained. And the third one explains beautifully about Tattvam Asi. Even though Lord Mahavishnu is the one all pervading, and also the second one is the duality with the Lakshmi, they say that there is no difference between you and me. Tattvam Asi. Which these 6 padas, 6 words they have been showing, that has been explained already in Bhagavad Gita beautifully, because Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters And first 6 chapters is the one which is Karma Yoga, second 6 chapters is Bhakti Yoga, third 6 chapters is the Jnana Yoga. In that one, entire 18 chapters explain about the Tattvamasi. First one is Tvam, which is you, about you. And the second one is the Asi. Sorry, the second one is the one Tat. Tat is the one him, that is Jagadishvara. Tvam is the one, is the me, right? And then Tat is that one which is him. And the third one, which is 36 chapters, is the Asi. So that is you are that. Tattvamasi. And the same thing is being explained in the third verse in the Shatapadi. And then the fourth one is going to tell you that all vibhutis or the glories of that entity, the universal consciousness, the self, the God, or whatever you call it. And the fifth one will explain how we manifest in different ways in different times, and comes and explains that this is all the Bhagavan Leela, and you need to have realization that don't get identified with your own body and mind senses, which is only given as a vehicle to realize that your ananda or your happiness is not out there, it is all within you. That is Satchitananda, your existence, and that universal consciousness, the knowledge, and the third one is the ananda. That's one it tells you on that. And then he will be explaining completely about that and telling you that how he can show you through the Vishwarupa or manifestation of his vibhutis in different ways. So that's why whether you see in a different religions, this God, this Devata, and that Devata, these are all are different manifestations of that one. Just like that, that if you imagine yourself as a person, Purusha, that he has all these avayas or the instrument, the angas. You have hands and you have legs and you have eyes and ears, but all part of him. They are not different than him. But these things will be thinking that I am independent, I am different than that. So even though everything is included, sometimes with this mind, the sixth sense will identify with the body, mind, senses, that is me and I. But in that clouds and that Maya, clouds your understanding and not knowing what is the ultimate, the realization is that the ananda or the happiness within you, you have to realize that one. For this one, you need that prayer, the grace of that God, as I told you, that grace of the God will be helping you in that realization, self-realization on that. Now, these things have been explained in detail. So in the next, 15 minutes we'll talk about this, if there are any questions on that, but we'll be going through this, the first verse in detail, explaining all this interaction of these three entities and 3 factors, and with this given knowledge, we will analyze and try to see whether we could understand each other, and through the discussions, hopefully we'll be realizing who you are and why I'm here and where I'm going on that one. So great sayings like that, most of the time the Ramana Maharshi or Shankaracharya or any other persons. Ramana Maharshi was mostly in silent because silence speaks million words, whereas Shankaracharya gave the million words to understand the same about the silence. So with this type of thing, I think hopefully we'll understand what is the truth about, how do you realize that, how do you realize that you are yourself, your nature is, Satchitananda. You are the existence, because you cannot deny that one, and you are that knowledge, which is the self, and you are that Ananda. And that self-realization will happen only upon this grace of that God, and continue to contemplate on that one. And it explains about what is prayer, what is meditation, how do you do that, what are the steps on that one. And beautifully to end with this one is, there are many ways to realize this knowledge, is that particularly you can have 5 different relations. with any person, either in Vyavaharika level, day-to-day life. So in your job or my job, there are relations. You can develop 5 types of relation. One is called Prabhu Bhakti, a master and servant relations. How we do that? Number 1 is called Vatsalya Bhakti. That is a mother and son relation. Third one is called Sankhya Bhakti, friend-to-friend relation. And the fourth one is called Kanta Bhakti, husband and wife relation. And the fifth one is called Ananya Bhakti, that there is no difference between you and me, it is Ananya, there is no difference on that. So these 5 ways of relations, when you realize that fellow human with self in me, self in all, then you develop that relations beautifully, and then you can realize happiness in every moment that. And the second way of realizing this is 2 margas. And those 2 paths are called, one is called Marjala, and other one is called Markata. These are the words, Sanskrit words we call it, but Marjala is like a cat way of living. And another one is called Markata, means is the monkey. So how do you explain that? Monkey is always, when the baby monkey is there, always has to hold on to the mother in order to do its activity. When you want to be independent, I don't want my mother or support, and that what happens? Then you fall down from branch to branch when you're jumping. If you don't hold the mother, and you are done. Whereas the cat, the baby cat, you must have seen in your experience, is that she just believes in the mother. Okay, as long as the mother is there, which is the God, and she just sat down there, the cat itself picks up very softly and puts one place to the other place. So first one is called Karma Kanda, activity, Karma Yoga. The second one is called Jnana Yoga. Bhakti Yoga. The Bhakti Yoga is common to all, but either only 2 things. Either you do the activity, we cannot sit down tight, every time you have to do the activity, but right activity, Karma Yoga. And the third one is, the second one is the Jnana Yoga. These 2 paths. Other than that, Shastras, text have mentioned many other means, simple means. The simple means called Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dashyam, Atmanivedanam. These are the 9 processes. So what we are doing today or continue to do the next 1 week is, one is the Sravanam, second one is Smaranam, and then of course we are going to do the Kirtanam. These first 3 processes we'll be doing that, and hopefully we'll get the given knowledge in a right way on those. So at this time I will stop, and then if you have any questions I will be happy to answer.
Good. Thank you. I think prayers are very important, and you mentioned about Ananya Bhakti.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we can discuss about it, talk about it, because that's most important.
Mm-hmm.
So can we just talk about it?
Sure.
What is Ananya Bhakti?
Say Ananya Bhakti, in order to understand, and most of you are very familiar with Radha Krishna. ISKCON is one of the things which you see this Radha Krishna picture very commonly. So Ananya means the no difference, not 2, there is only one. That this all universal force or universal energy or self you call it, or Brahman or Lord, which is behind our perception and also conception, because human eye cannot perceive that one. So in Ananya Bhakti is that seeing the self in me, in self in all, that there is no difference, it is only the parts are playing with the center, and then Krishna and the Radha, there is no difference. One is the loved one is the loving one. The one which is the energetic is the one, and the other one is the energy. So there is no difference between the energetic and energy, and these 2 are one together is called Ananya Bhakti. So in a day-to-day life that is the highest realization, because there is no difference, even though we have different costumes, different nama rupas, and but the soul in you and soul in me is the same. So if it is the same, there is ananya, there is no difference on that one. So that realization tells you that day-to-day practical life is, if the self in me, in self in all, then whatever is making me happy should be making me happy there. So do the happy things that, then if it is causing pain to you, it should be causing the pain, because you and me are attached to that body, mind, sensory complex, the equipment. That's the reason that realization of the self in me and self in all is called Ananya Bhakti.
So in the Nirmalyam prayer, it's that Deho Devalaya Prokto Jivo Deva Sanatana Tejeda Jnana Nirmalyam Soham Bhavena Pujaya. So as priests remove the Nirmalyam, so all the Alankara and Shringar evening, so there's prayer there. I remove my ignorance that I am non-separate from you.
So that is interesting. Shankaracharya is Advaitin, basically. He is the when you say Nirmalya, when he said that thing, it's Shankaracharya's epitome of oneness.
Right.
And in this one, Vishnu Shatapadi, he has supposedly written about a prayer to Vishnu.
Mhm.
It's a kind of a Vaishnavite prayer.
Right.
So, what is the background on that? Why?
Yeah.
When did he?
Yeah. So there is in Shankaracharya's, there was a kind of misunderstanding about his teachings, as far as I understand, is that Shankaracharya is a pure Advaita and he does not believe in the duality and does not believe in the pratimas and pratikas or all these idols on that one. And then he has beautifully said, his Nama Rupas are differently, looks like he's a Shaivite. But he has written,
About Devi.
about Devi, about the, Vishnu and that. But the connotations in that Vishnu is a term that we call is pervading, all pervading. That is the actually meaning of that one. Now, that pervading force you can look into in a different way. Just like electricity. Electricity is one pervading force. But you will see it in the fan, in the name of the fan, it's moving in that, or tube, or whatever that equipment is there. Likewise, he has given a beautiful prayer on that one. In that prayer, in these 6 verses, he is going to explain beautifully that it is not the Vishnu we are talking about in the that he is talking about that manifestation in one way, and then he will talk about the manifestation in another way on that one. So I think and then there is a Vishnu Sahasranama, beautifully was given. So in Sahasranama also, it is not just a Vishnu. It's not Vaishnavites, it is not sectarianism. It's a Mahavishnu, it's a Brahman, but manifested in a different way on that one. So here also, Shatapadi also tells the same thing. It's a pervading, all pervading one, but it can be manifested in order to make the understand for the common public as.
I think that's what all the Advaita philosopher, there's no separation. It's everything is one,
Right.
but it's very difficult to comprehend.
Right.
So that's why they kind of appreciate rituals and God for a beginner.
Right.
So that it looks like God is separate than me, and I come to the temple and I see the God, but in reality it is not separate. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why all these prayers to different gods and goddesses are just for the beginners, and to make it at the end, the bhakta will realize that they are all both are same.
Yeah, that's
Vishnupadi,
the greatest slogan or motto or kind of things. Ekam sat vipraha baudha vadanti. All these wise people say that God is one, but manifested in different names, forms on that one. That is just the same. Just like we day-to-day life, you are father at home, you are a grandfather, and you go to and act in a different profession. You're an oncologist or lawyer or something. You are called in different names and forms, but the person behind is the only one. And that's what is Advaita is all about. And then also philosophies that have been taking place in particularly Sanatana Dharma, mainly only 3 philosophies. One is Advaita, second one is Visishta Advaita, third one is Dvaita. So how do you comprehend this one? Is, let's say, first of all, Advaita means, as I told you, there is only one, there is no two. Yeah, that is it. Not two is the Advaita. Whereas that the Dvaita is, there are two, you and me. But in between, what is this Vishishtha Advaita? Yes, as long as Lord Hanuman said to the Rama, as long as see both, then I am dual. But I don't see a difference, I am you. And that is beautifully put into that one. So, but now Ramanujacharya came in between and said that, hey, as long as I am seeing you as different than me, but when I see the realization I am also the same like you, that is Vishishtha Advaita. And there is a lot of controversies on that one after the mukti or moksha, after realization. Do you completely mingle with him or you remain as separate? So there are so many philosophies came in between, but they don't stand the truth, because that once you see that whole body is all inclusive of all, and you see the part as a different, yes, but it is inclusive on that. Just like the ocean and waves. What is the essence of between the ocean and the waves? Essence is the water. It's only the form. The waves the forms are different. It could be having a different dance. Sometimes cyclones can come. Then clouds can form, and from the clouds you can have the rivers. All those things will come back into the ocean. But these are all different forms. But what is the essence between all these forms? Water. And just like that, this is also God is one. He has a different manifestation. So we call it a different way, but as long as you realize, that's fine.
So Vishnu Shatapadi is also used as a prayer, right?
Yes, it's a prayer, and it's a prayer. As I told you, the prayer is to have a entity as a concentration. That is, there are two stages of realization. One is called that upasana. Upasana is that you do the meditation on that one, that this is the God I'm going to, but you are going to realize on that one. Once you realize that there is an ideal behind, the truth behind that one, you don't see that idol anymore, and that is called your dwelling, awareness on that one, that is called nididhyasana. So there are two steps, things. First one is called upasana, meditation. The second one is called nididhyasana. Nididhyasana is actual self-realization, that there is no two. It is you, our subject. And then the meditation or the prayer. So prayer is a very first step. And the prayer to the meditation to the nididhyasana. These are the three-way steps for the self-realization.
In fact, first Bhashyam Shankaracharya wrote on Vishnu Sahasranama.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked his student, hey, bring the script. So every time he just brings Vishnu Sahasranama. So he thought, oh, now this is a divine Sanketa. So I have to try.
I think, every time he was asking that one, the different one, but they are bringing.
He asked to bring some Upanishad manuscript, but then every time he brings the Vishnu Sahasranama.
Right.
So he wrote very beautiful bhashyam on that.
Right.
He gives in each name number of reference. Oh man, all Upanishad reference, all Puranas reference. So we have Swamiji's book also on that, beautifully. And if you read Gita Press, they have published with the Bhashyam. Number of references. So first text Shankaracharya choose, but he just quoted all Upanishads and all Shrutis right there.
Right.
He wrote Bhagavad Gita Bhashyam too. He is one of the most popular.
The first one.
Yeah.
No, the
First
first
one.
one is Vishnu Sahasranama.
Vishnu Sahasranama.
Right, no, but for the first time the Bhagavad Gita from Mahabharata was taken out by Shankaracharya.
He has that Prarthana tribe.
Right.
He has done those three standard one.
Yeah.
But this Vishnu Sahasranama was the very first one. He has done that. And his literature is vast.
And
And that too in 32 years.
he himself installed Badrinath. So I mean,
Everywhere, right? 4 places.
yeah.
No, 5.
5. Kanchi is.
Yes.
Yeah,
Tea is
including
not
kanchi. Right.
You never know whether it's true or it is.
Yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah, there was a argument, on
Yeah.
that one. But actually, standard was the four main disciples are there. So that's what it is. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Let's conclude with
Hari
prayer.
Om. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Hari Om.